The A's stay home here at the Oakland Coliseum, the Rickey Henderson Field, to take on the AL West rivals, the Seattle Mariners. Top two teams here in in the AL West, I guess. As Drew Romo, I think it was his name, makes his debut on the mound for us today is Caleb Killian, and through 13 starts this year has been very solid. It starts off here against J.P. Crawford in a 3-1 count. He starts off by drawing a walk. Not the best of starts here for the first batter of the day. You'll see the Mariners lineup here, 1 through 9. Their top 4 batters are scary, and then Alex Dickerson is having a great year, surprisingly. Drew Romo's first game, pretty much the same lineup that we saw last year, though, with a few slight changes. You see with one down here, it's a deep fly ball from Kyle Lewis, their best batter right now. Flies out to Austin Meadows for out number 2, and Caleb Killian would get out of the inning without any damage done, as Max Muncy in a 3-2 count just stares at a fastball dig high for strike 3. We would then go on to the bottom half of the inning, where towing the slab for the Mariners is Logan Gilbert, making his 13th start of the year. A perfect 6-0 record for him, which I did not realize till about this second, as he looks to get his 7th win of the year. First batter up is Trent Grisham, the recently acquired, and he gets a slider right over the middle where he drills to deep right field, but not enough power under it as Logan Gilbert begins with 1 out here, and you see the A's lineup here 1 through 9. Asan Diaz batting second here, as Dansby Swanson moves down to 6. Langeliers and Maciel also get the start in today's game. 3, 4, 5 most likely is going to be the same all year, so you don't have to worry about that there. 2 down here, it's Austin Meadows, gets a fastball right in, I guess, the stomach region, but he just whiffs through it. Then we jump ahead to the 3rd inning as nothing happened in the 2nd, and 3-2 count, it's J.P. Crawford again. This man decides to kill every team I play, or every time I play against him, he kills me, I guess. He gets a 1-out double here in the top of the 3rd. And next batter up would be Ty France, 3-2, as he draws a walk. So a sticky situation here. Kyle Lewis is up. He strikes out swinging. So 2 down. Caleb Killian looks to get out of it, but Max Muncy won't let him get out of it unscathed, as it's a base knock here to Maciel to load the bases. And then the next batter up would be Jared Kelenic in a 3-2 count. He would get a line drive base hit, and that would score 2 as the hit and run was on. And that would be a 2-0 lead for the Mariners here to start off early. Caleb Killian already had 60 or so pitches. He would get out of the inning here as Alex Dickerson would swing through a cutter. And to end the 3rd, like I said, 2-0 Mariners. A few hits for the Mariners. We have nothing going on our side. Start off here at the bottom of the 3rd, where we'd get our first hit as the Langeliers would drill one into right center field. That'd get down for a 1-out double as well, as we look to start our own rally here. Next batter up would be Gabriel Maciel here. As you see, a 2-1 count here. You saw Langeliers had his 8th double of the year. As he's playing every day with the Soderstrom injury, Maciel would fly one in the right center field, but this one would get caught for out number 2. And the Oakland Athletics would proceed to do nothing with the 1-out double, as Trent Grisham now up with a 2-2 count. Get a pitch inside, jammed him, and pops up to J.P. Crawford. So the score remains 2-0 here after 3, as Seattle gets out of the jam there. We then go on to the top of the 4th, where Drew Romo gets an at-bat here, and he would proceed to drill one in the left field, trying to get his first hit. Gabriel Maciel playing a great left field gets the A's out of the 4th inning. No more runs scored. Jump to the bottom of the 4th now, where it's a 3-2 count for Asan Diaz, who rips one in the right or more center field, gets it over the head of Kyle Lewis, and that would be a leadoff double here in this inning for Asan Diaz, the noted second hitter, as he gets his 15th double of the year. Next batter up would be Austin Meadows here, and in a 1-1 count to Austin Meadows, if Gilbert would pitch the ball, he'd get a hanging pitch where he rips it into right field. However, we didn't know, or Diaz didn't know if it would be caught, so it would only get him to 3rd, as Meadows would get a double here. So 2 doubles to start. And now we have a great chance to score here. 3-2 count. It's J.D. Martinez. He tries to fly one in the left field, would be caught, but the runners would tag up, and we'd score our first run here on a sac fly. It is now 2-1 Seattle. Here, bottom 4 now. Next batter up, Michael Toglia. He'd rip one down the line, fair over the first baseman's head, and that would be an RBI double for Toglia now, as the A's tie the game here at the bottom of the 4th. It is 2-all on Toglia's, I assume, fifth double of the year. Next bat, or a few batters later, we'd get out of it as Max Muncy would ground one to J.P. Crawford. So 2 runs, nothing else happened in that inning, and it's tied at 2 here at the bottom of the 4th. As a good AL West matchup here in Oakland. We now go to the top of the 5th, where it's Caleb Killian still on the mound today, and it's J.P. Crawford deciding to get another hit, because what else does J.P. Crawford do? Gets a leadoff single here for the Mariners, and next batter up would be Ty France, 2-1 count himself. Ball would get away. Langeliers would try to get it at second. A good throw, just a little too late. So a wild pitch advances the runner here. 3-2 next batter to Kyle Lewis. He'd rip one up the middle for a base knock, and that would break the tie here as Crawford would round third and score easily. 3-2 now Seattle. We would get out of the inning after an out, and then here Kyle Lewis would try to steal, and Langeliers just shows off his defense. Guns him down to end the 5th inning. 3-2 now Seattle. And bottom of the 5th now, Logan Gilbert still going. It's 3-2. It's Gabriel Maciel with 1 out. He would draw a walk here, and that would end Logan Gilbert's day, as their manager would go to the righty out of the pen. Voice crack, of course. George Kirby comes out for the 21st time this year. Next batter up would be Trent Grisham here, as he dribble one down the third base line. Would get out at first, but a runner moves up to second, so 2 down. It's Hassan Diaz, 3-2, and he draws a walk here. So now it's 2 down with Austin Meadows and 2 runners on. Big chance here for the A's to score, but Austin Meadows would line one right to the second, or ground one right to the second baseman. An unfortunate way to get out there, and it stays 3-2. We then jump over to the 9th inning, as the score would stay the same, as Paul Sewald would come on to looking for his 24th save, and he would proceed to do just that, striking out Max Muncy after getting the first 2 guys out, and Seattle would win this game 3-2. Winning pitcher on the day would go to Logan Gilbert after he pitched, I believe it was 6 innings. Loss would go to Caleb Killian. And the save, of course, goes to Paul Sewald. Actually, I guess the win went to George Kirby. He also won player of the game. Definitely should have been J.P. Crawford, but George Kirby did pitch 2 1/3. Good innings. Got 4 Ks. Caleb Killian still gets the loss. Paul Sewald gets his 24th save. You see our notable player was Hassan Diaz, Toglia, Langeliers, and Meadows. Outside of Crawford for them, it was only Jared Kelenic, Ty France, Andrew Momo. Advancing now, we would see that Caleb Killian a few weeks later gets an injury, tore his hamstring. He'd be out 1 to 2 months, which was big because he was our best pitcher in our rotation. And we'd do a trade to fill his spot, as we'd send Jeremy Ironman, Gunnar Hoagland, and Brad Nugent, 2 prospects. Was it 2 or 3 prospects? I don't remember. I think it was 3 prospects for John Means, the Orioles ace. You can see I look at the stats here of the players. Hoagland's a pretty high potential guy, was on a good year. Nugent, I don't know if he was having a good year, but he has an A potential here at the closer spot, which is always good to have a closer. And Ironman wasn't doing good in the MLB, but he was doing great when we sent him down to AAA. I upped his potential as well back to a B for them. And then we acquired John Means, who's on a pretty good year, has had a good career in the Baltimore area, but never been on a good team. He's only on a 1-year deal. This is the last year of his contract. And there's a good chance that if we don't make the playoffs with him, or if we don't go far in the playoffs with him, I do not re-sign him. So hopefully he can help our playoff push here. I know that's another mid-season trade that I don't like doing, but we needed someone to replace Caleb Killian, and I think this was the best option. Now for some interleague baseball, as we go over to non-Atlanta to face the Atlanta Braves here at Truist Park. We're on the mound for the A's today. Is newly acquired, or Yeah, newly acquired John Means. You can see here we are trying to win the series here. It's tied 1-1. Us, we have John Means, and for them, they have Luke Weaver, as we start off with Luke Weaver, and you can see our lineup 1 through 9. The same as last game. The only difference is Alfonso Rivera gets to start today behind the plate and would be batting 9th. With one down now, it's a 2-2 count, and Luke Weaver gets Isan Diaz swinging and missing here for out number 2, which would then bring up Austin Meadows, and he would proceed to do the exact same thing to Austin Meadows. As the A's do nothing here at the first, and like noted before, towing the slab for us is John Means, his first start as an Oakland A. I don't know if he's actually number 47 or not. I do not change numbers unless it's the preseason. And you can see their lineup 1 through 9. Acuna having an amazing year. Like, it is incredible the year he was having at this point. You can only see the average there, but he was having a great year. After Albies gets out for out number 1, Justin Dean grounds one into right field for a base knock with some speed on the bases, bringing up Ronald Acuna. And Justin Dean would run, but it doesn't matter as Acuna draws the walk. So 2 on, 1 down here to start. Matt Olson, former Athletic, would fly one into left center field to end the inning, as I think it was Austin Riley batted after Acuna. Whoever batted after Acuna would get out, and then Matt Olson flew out to end the inning there. We then jump over to the top of the second, where it's J.D. Martinez here in a 1-2 count. And J.D. Martinez would ground one up the middle for a base knock to get our first hit of the day. J.D.'s been having a sneaky good year for our bats, hoping he can help us push to the playoffs as well. After the next batter got out, it's Dansby Swanson who rips one into right field, and that ball would sneak over the wall. Dansby Swanson hitting a 2-run shot against his former team here. His 11th homer of the year. It's just sad that he's not doing anything besides hitting some homers and a couple doubles every now and then. And he's been sucking everywhere else because I needed him to be an on-base average guy, and that's exactly what we did not get from him, at least this year. But he would make it 2-0 here, as we now go to the bottom of the second, where it's Orlando Arcia blooping one into right field for a base knock with 2 down here, trying to start a 2-out rally. And he would start a small little rally here. Next batter would be Brian O'Keefe, and he would rip one into left center field, and that would easily score Garcia, who was on the hit and run there since there was a 3-2 out. And Brian O'Keefe gets them 1 run on the board here. I hate saying his name, but hey, whatever they gotta do. Ozzie Albies now with 2 down. He would take a wild pitch, and for some reason, Brian would go to third and get gunned down easily by Rivera. We then go to the bottom of the third, where it's Ozzie Albies once again, 3-1 count. He draws a walk, and then Means gets into a little bit of trouble here. Next batter up is Justin Dean, who would try to advance Albies, but he does not do it as the bunt goes to Tolia, and Tolia just takes what I guess is the easier L, even though it's not easier. 3-2 to Acuna. He draws his second walk of the day, and then Austin Riley would get out, but Matt Olson would not, as he drills one to right field to get some revenge on the Oakland A's here, as he would hit a 420-foot moonshot on his 17th of the year and give Atlanta a 4-1 lead before Hunter Renfroe would just pop out here to end the third inning. Means not having the best of starts here for his debut, but we go to the bottom of the fourth as Orlando Arcia again, who grounds one here to Tolia for out number 2. And that would be John Means' day, as after that they would call a rain delay here, which I didn't even know was still in the show, but apparently it is. And we would then go to the pen it was about a 90-minute wait, I think they said. So we did not keep John Means in the game. They didn't keep Luke Weaver in the game either. We went to Paul Blackburn here. I guess it's acting like it's a start for him. I don't know if that's true or not. But he would proceed to get out of the inning, or out of the fourth inning here, with the score 4-2. The Braves would go along to Touki Toussaint here, who is in his 23rd game, having a pretty decent year. He does walk a lot of batters. I think that was the issue he's had. But he's kind of fixed that this year, and though he hung a curveball right here to Trent Grisham, he gets out of the fifth inning unscathed, nobody on. We then go to the bottom of the 5th where there's 2 outs. Blackburn tries to get out of the inning, but Ronald Acuna, he had other plans. A no-doubt shot in the right field here. He hits it about 400 feet, his 23rd homer of the year. Like I said, he's been having a great year. And come on, you can't not like Ronald Acuna's no-doubt animation. Look at that. They would go on to Seth Lugo here now, later in the game, as now it is the top of the 9th, and Lugo would get the save, striking out Austin Meadows here. I didn't realize Lugo was going for the save, so I didn't say he was closing out the game, because I didn't know he was. He would proceed to get JD Martinez out and then Tolia striking out swinging. I believe it was a save situation, unless he only came in for 1 or 2 innings. But it might have been like a 3-inning save there for Lugo. Either way, your Brave, or the Atlanta Braves, beat your Oakland Athletics 6-2 here. Win goes to Tuki Tucson, as the loss still goes to John Means, as he allowed, I think, 4 of the runs. So John Means still gets the loss, as Tucson gets the win. Acuna gets player of the game, 2 for 2 with a home run. I think he had a single and 2 walks. Yeah, he had a great game. Notable player for us was Dansby Swanson. That was about all we had on our offense, as the Braves just had a pretty good offensive game, 6 runs on 6 hits, and their pitchers did pretty well, as they only allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. Swanson got a little revenge, but Matt Olson gets the last laugh against his former team, and the Braves gets their, I think, 51st win. Go back to simulating some more here. As you can see, another injury for Jonathan Ruiz, I can't say his name, but Michael Tolia gets an injury for about 1 to 2 weeks. We decided to go for Albert Pujols as an everyday player for that time, and you can see I do some simulating here just to show it off. I usually don't show it off, but we take the series against the Rays here, or there. We pick up the win here against the Tigers, 5-4 here in a walk-off. John Means gets his second start here, and if he has a 1-run lead, Hader would get the save. We get a trade offer here from the Diamondbacks, which I wanted to do a lot. It just made no sense. Geraldo Perdomo, a good prospect who's been pretty decent for JD Martinez. Martinez is a great bat, yes, but the Diamondbacks are 37-52. They're in no spot to make a playoff run. So, I mean, JD for a prospect to a team that doesn't need one, or need a veteran, it was pretty dumb. You can see Soderstrom is ready to be activated. Still had a few days left on his injury, but you'll see here sooner. We lose the series to Houston, and then Soderstrom is ready to be back. The plan was to send Langeliers down to AAA just so he could still progress. That way Rivera could just be the backup catcher for the year, and then next year we'll probably have both the catchers up again. But here you can see we took a good amount of losses there in the second week. The Diamondbacks tried to give us now Jordan Luplow for Dansby Swanson. I'm not going to do it. Last thing you'll see here is, I think, a claim I place on someone. I forget who it was. Kobe Allard. I don't remember if we got him or not. But that would be the end of this episode. We'll see next time if we got Kobe Allard. Thank you guys for watching this episode. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to y'all later.